Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Let's grab a beverage of your choice, because today I'm going to be reviewing, at long last, Batman, The Road to No Man's Land Omnibus. Published by DC, written by a variety of different people. Okay, so here is the front, side, the back with a synopsis on it. Let's take the cover off. Gotta be careful. I don't wanna rip it, because that would be bad. It'll be bad. Okay. So here is everything. They have inside two little quotes on the inner sleeves. The longer one says, "All the horrors that my city has witnessed these past years have one thing in common. No one had the power to stop them. No one could turn aside the tragedy. But that's not the case today." Bruce Wayne. And then on this one, it is, "I'll spend all my resources and myself to win the city back. Batman." Okay. So you have a nice wraparound cover showing the destruction of this city on the inside. And you can sort of see, it's kind of like some artwork in there, but not quite. Title page of Batman. And then you actually have a table of contents, which has 4 pages of things all the way up through page 1231 of the comics. And I will tell you what all they have here. It says, this edition collects Azrael, Agent of the Bat, number 40, 47 through 50, Batman, 553 through 562, Batman, Arkham Asylum, Tales of Madness, number 1, Batman, Blackgate, Isles of Men, number 1, Batman, Huntress Spoiler, Blunt Trauma, number 1, Batman, Shadows of the Bat, 73 through 82, Catwoman, 56, 57, Detective Comics, 719 through 722, 724 through 729, Nightwing, number 19 and 20, Robin, 52 through 54, and the Batman Chronicles, 12, 14, and 15, which comes up to just a little over 1,200 pages. Now, this is an incredible book, because this, they all pretty much start out right at the same. Well, it starting out pretty much at the same point. The first few start at about like 7:01, 7:02 p.m. The earthquake starts at 7:03. So you've got, like the first story is a couple of guys, they're criminals. They're going to prison, and one guy's talking about how he kicked Batman's ass. And it's showing what he says happens, and then on the other side it shows what actually happens. It's two entirely different things. And they're all like, okay, you're full of shit. And then when they get to Blackgate, that's when the earthquake happens, and it shows you what happens with there. The next few stories are where certain people were, what happened when the earthquake happened, events. And then as we go along in the book, there's tales that are just involved with, like right at the time of the earthquake or just a little bit afterwards, but aren't necessarily directly involved. Like you have Batman dealing with going after some people, trying to capture some escaped prisoners, which he likens to having to deal with what happened with Bane. You have them trying to deal with the destruction of Wayne Manor, because that was like the one piece of Wayne property that wasn't reinforced because it had been built ages ago. And, you have Oracle Story, you have James Gordon dealing with things. And so things that were just a little outside of the main event of Road to Nowhere. And then it actually ends up with the last maybe fifth of the book, is showing the events that led up to No Man's Land being established, with the fight in Congress, in the House and Senate, of whether they should cut ties with Gotham. They have people doing the arguments for, against. You have Bruce Wayne trying to deal with stuff. You have a bad guy who's trying to manipulate things. He's assassinated a congressman who was on Gotham's side, blamed it on Azrael, and so he's manipulating stuff. So it shows you the events of what led to the vote by the government to say, yeah, we're done. We're going to cut them off. And then them blowing up the bridges and flooding the tunnels to set up the actual event of No Man's Land. So it is a really, really interesting story. And so some of them, you have to pay attention a little bit, because one thing might start a little bit before another, there's not many that are directly connected, but someone will be talking and saying something about something that had already just happened a few issues before, but this may have been, right around the same time, because you have other stories that you're reading. And wow, it's just a really good book. This is the way things are supposed to have been. Like, Batman, you shouldn't be really having him doing Universal type stuff. This is his type of thing. Street level, city level stuff. You could have him dealing with who else to deal with stuff like this than someone like him and the Bat family. And so this is some incredible writing here, and most of the time the art is really good too. And there is character development in here. It shows you how Stephanie Brown decides to keep being the spoiler, and how this sets up how Montoya and Bullock decide to stay in the city, which eventually leads to what happens with her later on. In fact, one of these things takes place after her problems with Two-Face. So, this shows the after effects of some of the after effects of her dealing with Two-Face, her event. And so, wow, this is just it's an awesome book, and I'm so glad that I got it. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 just because, oh, so good. I mean, there's a couple of issues where the art wasn't that great, but the story more than made up for it. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5. And if you want a really good event, this is the beginning of an event right here. Pick this up and then go get to No Man's Land. I've read that in trades, but I have the two omnibus right over there. It's right there. And I'll be reading them a little later. So yeah, pick them up. Read it because it's awesome. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what you thought of it if you read it. And like, subscribe, most of all, enjoy your Batman.